Alrighty then. Let's go, baby. Let's go. What the? Okay. Let's talk, people. Let's talk. It's been a long time. I have lots changed. I've gotten married. I bought a house. I'm more stable. And I have more time to do more podcasts. So I'd like to. One of the reasons why I did not do many podcasts in the past few years on NVC is because I feel like I said it all. I put it all out there. What am I going to do? Keep repeating myself? But then I noticed a lot of other people do, because sometimes it's good to hear. And as a student, I like to hear the same thing in a few different ways, a few different times to make it stick. So I'm going to go through the whole program again, this time with video in my new podcast studio. So today we're going to talk about what is violent language, because most people go around thinking I'm a relatively good person. I'm not perfect. I do my best, and I don't speak violently. And that's fair, because words have different meanings. One word can have multiple meanings. So you might be using violently. Like, violent doesn't always mean, very vicious, completely obvious, hurtful attacks. That's obviously violent language. But when you speak of nonviolent communication, I like to describe violent language as anytime you say something that implies the other person is bad and wrong. Nobody wants to hear that, to feel that. It almost never works. It just makes things harder to communicate, and it escalates, and it's unnecessary to come to a conclusion, a solution, a sustainable win-win solution. And there's a lot of ways to do this. You can be, obviously, the very obvious way to speak violently is to call someone a name. You're a, put in the bad adjective after. That's violent, yeah, of course. But there's a lot of more subtle ways. One way is to blame them for how you're feeling. So you say, I feel annoyed because you're 20 minutes late. From an NVC perspective, that also is violent, because you just blame somebody. You feel bad. You feel annoyed. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with feeling annoyed. But I feel annoyed because you are bad and wrong. You should change. I don't need to change. I'm a victim to your bad wrongness. See, that's a lot that goes on in that one sentence. From an NVC, and we're going to go into all these details and techniques, but I'm just giving you my ideas right now. From an NVC perspective, you could have said, I feel annoyed because I wanted you to be on time. So the subtle shift is you're owning how you feel because it's because of your own preferences. And why we do this is because it's true. No one is responsible for how you feel ever. Doesn't matter what they do. It is the circumstances are irrelevant. The true fact, and this is very crucial and key understanding, and it may take a little time to fully integrate it and believe it, but think about it deeply. No matter what happens, it's always how you feel is going to always be a direct reflection of how you are framing the situation, how you think about the situation. So if someone showed up 20 minutes late to work and you feel annoyed, are they responsible for how you feel? No, because you're the one who has the preference that your employees show up on time. Now, if you didn't care what time your employees showed up, then you wouldn't feel annoyed. If you really didn't like that employee and you're thinking about you're going to fire them today, but you're really nervous about it, and then they showed up 20 minutes late, you'd be like, yes, they showed up 20 minutes late today. Now I get to fire them, and there's like a clear reason. What changed? Nothing. The same action happened. The only thing that changed was how you thought about it. This is true in all circumstances. Someone comes up and calls you a name right to your face in front of everybody. Yeah. You might get sad, you might get angry, you might get frustrated, you might get stressed, all those things, but it's all going to be how you think about it. You might even think it's funny. You'd be like, oh my gosh, this person is making a fool of themselves. Or you might feel sad. This person is hurting. To be doing this behavior, they're hurting, and I just want to give them a hug. It's all you. So you never, ever want to blame anyone else for how you feel. So that's one way to speak violently, is to blame other people for how you feel. Don't do it. The guilt trip also. Oh, don't you hate guilt trips? Like, well, gosh, you're 20 minutes late. Fine, I guess we'll just have to work 10 times harder now. So that's just, again, it's implying that now we all have to work harder, which is not a good thing. It's a bad thing. It's because of your behavior of showing up late, you're wrong and bad. We just want to avoid all that. It's just unnecessary and it doesn't work. You just need to say how you feel and why you feel that way and what you want, it's just your preferences. So that's one key way. And, there's a lot of tricks in the English language. There's lots of tricks. And one of them is to say things like, I feel as if, or I feel like, and then whatever comes after is going to be a judgment. And if you're if you're in a conflict, it's probably going to be a judgment that says you're bad and wrong. So, for instance, say the employee who comes 20 minutes late, and if you're like, well, you're trying to be all nice and polite, and like, I'm not going to speak violently. And you say something like, well, I feel like you just really don't care about this job. See, on the outside, that sounds nice. No, that's the judgment. That's violent, because he's saying, you don't care about this job, but you should. So you are wrong and bad for not caring about this job. Therefore, you're fired. The proper way to say these I feel as if and I feel like statements is just to say, I think. And this is a much more honest way to speak, because when you say I feel as if, I feel like, it's like I have a deep understanding from a higher power, and it's telling me this thing that is manifesting in a feeling, and I won't put the feeling into words, and it says you're bad and wrong. You don't want to do that. You just say, I think, and then you're being like honest. Here's the theory I have based on, it's not a fact, it's just my opinion, which is not that valuable, but I think you're bad and wrong. We don't want to speak like that because it's more honest, it's more vulnerable, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm just saying something. When you say, I feel as if, that's like gives it more power, but it's fake power, and we don't want to do that. You want to speak non-violently. So you really want to try to eradicate I feel as if, I feel like. Another way is to use feelings that sound like feelings but aren't feelings. That would be disrespected. Who thinks disrespected is a feeling? Raise your hand. Put your hand down because you're wrong, okay? Disrespected is not a feeling. It is a judgment that says, you're being disrespectful, you're wrong, you're bad, you should change, I don't have to change, okay? That's not what we want. We want to speak non-violently. So instead of saying disrespectful, so say someone came, the person is coming 20 minutes late, and you're just like, you're being disrespectful to all the employees here, right? Because they all showed up on time, and you're not, and that's disrespectful. Okay, that's violent because you're saying that person's bad and wrong. A non-violent, but the beauty of NVC is you can express these darker feelings, these unpleasant, these negative feelings, and not in a non-violent way. And that's the real beauty. It actually gives you the skill set to express anything in a non-violent way. So to the employee, you could say, instead of I feel as if you don't care about the job, or you're disrespecting the other employees, you say something like, you showed up 20 minutes late today. I'm feeling frustrated because it's very important to me for all my employees to show up on time. And I don't want my other employees to start thinking it's okay to show up late because I'm allowing someone like yourself to show up late. So therefore, I would just like you to A, tell me why you're late today, or B, promise that you're never going to be late again. And if you are going to be late, you call ahead and let me know. Okay, so we're going to go into all the details. That was a lot in there. I want to keep these short, but the reason why that was nonviolent was because I never said they were wrong and bad. I said, I have a preference. I have a desire. I value this. And then I had very specific options at the end. Tell me why you're late and in the future. All right. So this is what it is. It's a beautiful thing. It can be life is challenging. Relationships are challenging, but very rewarding. And if you don't have this skill set, there's a lot of things that are, I would say, probably going to be happening. One, you're going to have a hard time drawing boundaries without it being a big problem. You're going to have a hard time bringing up issues, sensitive issues, potential issues, conflicts. You're going to have a hard time bringing it up and talking about it and resolving them, because it's very easy to fall into one of these traps that suggest the other person's bad and wrong, and you're a little angel, and you can't do anything wrong, and they should change, and you don't have to change. It's like literally every time you do that, it's going to make everything harder. They're going to get triggered. They're probably going to be violent with you. You're going to get triggered, and then it's just a problem. So if you do learn NVC, it doesn't mean you'll never have a conflict or an argument, but what it does mean, if you really learn it, is that you will be able to condense your conflicts. They will be way shorter. They will not be as intense. And then you will no longer be afraid to draw a boundary, to bring up uncomfortable things like money with employers, like drinking with friends and family, like just behavior things. It's great. It's so powerful. It's beautiful. So thank you guys for listening or watching wherever you're at. And I just want to thank the sponsor today. It's ChewClue. It's an app from Raw Light Labs, my company. And this is an app that is available on the App Store. Pretty soon it's going to be on the Google Play Store. And what it does is it helps you keep track of, so say, a lot of times when people have some pain in the body or a symptom or something's going wrong, I've noticed a lot of people don't really know why. They're like, oh, I have a headache, or I have a stomach ache, or I have gas, or I have a pain in my back. But in my opinion, many times this is from your diet. It's from something you're eating, your body's not reacting well, or a way you're eating, maybe eating too late or eating too much or bad food combinations. So ChewClue is an app that will help you track your meals and then also track your symptoms. And then over time, it'll show you correlations. Oh, look at this. Every time you go eat at this restaurant, the next day you have kidney pain. Or whenever you eat this late, then you can't sleep very well. Whatever it is. It's very helpful. Yeah. So that's great. I also have my new book coming out, Conflict to Connection, and it's coming out from Shambhala Publishing. Actually got a publisher this time. So you can pre-order that. That would be amazing. It's going to be out in October. And yeah, I still have my consultations and a practice group last Sunday of every month. You can sign up at artofnvc.com. And this month, if you want to come, please do. If it's your first time and you want to just try it out without paying, it's only $25 a month, but hey, we're all in different situations. You can send me an email at artofnvc@gmail.com. So you'd like to come free for the first time, and I'll send you the link. So keep it peaceful.